Have you ever wondered why some people seem to make money so easily while you reworking harder than ever just to pay the bills? Let me share something eye-opening with you. If Jeff Bezos decided to spend $1 million every single day, it would take him about 400 years to run out of money. That's longer than the United States has existed as a country. Even more shocking, the average worker would need to work for 2.8 million years to earn what Bezos accumulated. Not centuries, millions of years. But I'm not telling you this to make you feel bad. I'm sharing it because most of us have been taught completely wrong about money our entire lives. Think about this. If you remaking $60,000 a year, a decent income in most places, and you save an impressive 20% of your salary, how long would it take you to save $1 million? The answer is over 83 years. That's longer than most people live. I promise that what I'm about to share with you contains surprising revelations that could completely transform your financial future. The information in this video has the potential to change your life in ways you never imagined possible. If you apply these principles, your relationship with money will never be the same again. Before we dive deeper, please subscribe to the Evolution Code. Leave a like, comment your thoughts below, and share this video with someone who needs this knowledge. Together, we can help more people evolve and break free from financial struggle. Here's what nobody taught you in school. The entire money game operates on a set of rules that most people don't even know exist. While you were learning algebra and history, the children of wealthy families were learning something much more valuable: how money actually works. I call this hidden knowledge financial intelligence, and it's what I'll be sharing with you today. Let me ask you something important. If you lost your job tomorrow, how long could you maintain your current lifestyle? 1 month? 3 months? Maybe a year if you're doing really well? This question reveals your true wealth. You see, real wealth isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in time. Financial freedom isn't about having fancy cars or big houses. It's about having enough passive income from your assets to cover your expenses without having to work. It's about having the freedom to choose what you do with your time. I learned this lesson the hard way. Like many of you, I grew up with hardworking parents who taught me to get good grades, go to college, and find a secure job. They meant well, but they were teaching me to be a good employee, not a financially free person. It was until I met someone I now call my financial mentor that I began to understand the game. This mentor didn't have fancy degrees hanging on the wall. Instead, he owned businesses, properties, and investments that generated money, whether he showed up to work or not. The contrast between my parents' advice and my mentor's actions showed me two very different paths in life. One led to job security, the other led to financial freedom. Let me share with you the core principle that changed everything for me: the difference between assets and liabilities. Most people think they know what these words mean, but they don't. Here's the simplest definition that matters. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. That's it. It's a secret that the wealthy understand and the rest don't. Let me give you some examples. A rental property that generates more income than expenses is an asset. Your personal home, despite what banks tell you, is actually a liability. It constantly takes money out of your pocket through mortgage payments, taxes, insurance, and maintenance. A business that requires your daily presence is a job. A business that makes money without your daily involvement is an asset. A car is almost always a liability. It loses value the moment you drive it off the lot, and it constantly costs you money to maintain. Stocks that pay dividends are assets. Collectibles that sit in your closet and don't generate income are not assets until you sell them. They read just stuff. The path to financial freedom is actually quite simple. Actually build a portfolio of assets that generate enough passive income to cover your expenses. Once your passive income exceeds your expenses, you're financially free. You no longer have to work unless you choose to. So why don't more people achieve this? Because we're taught to do the exact opposite. We're taught to 1. Get a job. 2. Buy a nice house. 3. Get a car loan. 4. Use credit cards. 5. Save a tiny bit for retirement. This path leads to the rat race, working harder and harder to pay for more and more liabilities, with little to nothing left over to invest in actual assets. Let me show you how the cash flow patterns of different economic classes look. The poor person's cash flow is simple. Income from a job goes directly to expenses. There's nothing left to invest. The middle-class cash flow is more dangerous. Income from a job goes to expenses. Taxes and payments on liabilities they think are assets. They might invest a small amount in their retirement account, but most of their money flows out. The wealthy person's cash flow is completely different. They own assets that generate income. Some of that income goes to expenses, but much of it is reinvested to buy more assets, creating a growing cycle of wealth. Here's something that shocked me when I learned it. The wealthy don't work for money. They work for assets. Let me explain. When most people go to work, they're trying to earn money to pay bills. When wealthy people work, they're looking to acquire or create assets that will generate money forever. For example, instead of just earning a paycheck, they might use their job to learn skills to start a business, save to invest in rental properties, create intellectual property they can license, build systems that generate passive income. This mindset difference is huge. One leads to trading your life for money. The other leads to creating permanent income sources. Here's another critical insight. Most people think getting a raise is the path to wealth. But without financial intelligence, more income usually just leads to more spending and bigger liabilities. This is why we often see lottery winners and professional athletes go broke despite earning millions. They increased their income but didn't develop financial intelligence. Financial intelligence includes understanding how to identify true assets, basic counting and reading financial statements, how taxes work, how debt can be both dangerous and useful, how markets work, and how to spot opportunities. None of this is taught in traditional education, which is why school success and financial success often have little correlation. Let me share a personal story. When I was starting out, I was just like most people, working a regular job and spending nearly everything I earned. My mentor challenged me to start thinking differently. Instead of buying the new car I wanted, I saved that money and bought my first income-producing asset. A small investment that paid me about $100 per month. It wasn't much, but it was a start. I kept my old car and lived below my means. Each time I had money to invest, I asked myself, will this purchase put money in my pocket or take money out? This one question changed my buying habits completely. Slowly, I built my asset column. $100 in monthly passive income became $500, then $1,000, then more. It took years, not months, but eventually, my passive income exceeded my expenses. The day I realized I no longer had to work unless I chose to was the day I truly understood freedom. It was not about having millions in the bank. It was about having enough coming in from my assets to cover my needs without having to trade my time for money. Here's the truth about the rat race. Most people are just 3 to 6 months away from financial disaster if they lose their job. This creates a subtle but constant fear that influences every decision they make. This fear keeps them in jobs they do and love and prevents them from taking the risks needed to build real wealth. Think about it. How many great business ideas never happen because people can't risk losing their paycheck? How many people stay in toxic work environments because they have mortgage payments and car loans to cover? The rat race isn't just a financial trap, it's a mental and emotional one too. Breaking free requires understanding 3 groups that take your money. 1. The government takes money through taxes. 2. Banks and financial institutions take money through debt and fees. 3. Businesses take money by selling you liabilities disguised as assets. The wealthy have learned to navigate these 3 groups differently, understand tax laws, and structure their income to legally minimize taxes. They use debt strategically to acquire assets. It's not liabilities. They own businesses rather than just buying from them. One of the most powerful concepts I learned is that the poor and middle class work for money, but the rich have money work for them. Every dollar you save should be viewed as an employee that can work 24/7, generating more money for you. Here's a simple 4-step path to financial freedom that anyone can follow. 1. Get your financial house in order. Spend less than you earn and eliminate bad debt. 2. Build financial intelligence through books, courses, and mentors. 3. Start small. Begin acquiring income-producing assets with whatever you can. 4. Be patient and consistent. Financial freedom is a marathon, not a sprint. The best assets for beginners are often index funds that pay dividends, cash-flowing real estate, side businesses with minimal time requirements, royalty-producing intellectual property. You don't need a large sum to start. Many wealthy people began with just a few $100s invested wisely. Remember, your primary residence is not an investment. It's a place to live. Real estate becomes an investment when someone else pays you to use it, generating positive cash flow after all expenses. Another powerful concept: you don't need to be an expert at everything. You just need to build a network of trusted advisors. The wealthy rarely try to do everything themselves. They build teams. And finally, understand that money is simply an idea, a way of tracking value exchange. Once you realize this, you can focus on creating value rather than just chasing dollars. Now, let me share 5 more crucial chapters of financial wisdom that most people never discover. Here's something that changed my perspective completely. Most people spend more time planning their next vacation than planning their financial future. This isn't your fault. The system is designed this way. Financial literacy isn't just about knowing terms like compound interest or diversification. It's about understanding the game being played around you. Let me give you an example that shocked me. Did you know that when you deposit money in a bank, it's no longer legally yours? It becomes the bank's money, and you become a creditor of the bank. The bank then loans out your money at 5%, 10%, or 20% interest while paying you almost nothing. This is how banks create wealth, using your money. The financially literate person knows this and finds better places for their money. Maybe it's dividend-paying stocks, maybe it's private lending, maybe it's their own business. But they understand that leaving substantial money in a savings account is essentially losing money to inflation. Financial literacy also means understanding that the price of something and the value of something are completely different. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. The wealthy focus on value, not price. For example, many people avoid investing in their financial education because of the price. That course costs $500, they say. But if that $500 course teaches you how to make an extra $5,000 per year for the rest of your life, the value far exceeds the price. Becoming financially literate changed everything for me. I started reading the financial news differently. I began understanding why markets moved. I could see opportunities where before I only saw risks. Most importantly, I started making decisions based on knowledge rather than emotion. Here's something my mentor told me that I'll never forget. Your mind is infinitely more valuable than your wallet. What he meant was simple but profound. The quality of your thinking determines the quality of your financial life. Most people focus on external factors: the economy, their job, the market, but the wealthy focus first on developing their financial mindset. Let me share a powerful example. During the 2008 financial crisis, most people saw a disaster. They pulled their money out of the market at the bottom, locking in massive losses. But others, those with the right mindset, saw the greatest buying opportunity of a generation. They purchased quality assets at fire sale prices and multiplied their wealth when the recovery came. Same external circumstances. Completely different results based entirely on mindset. Developing a wealth mindset means overcoming limiting beliefs like money is scarce, rich people are greedy, I'm not good with money, it takes money to make money. Investing is gambling. These beliefs act like financial handcuffs, keeping you from even trying to build wealth. A wealth mindset also means embracing delayed gratification, the ability to resist a smaller reward now for a larger reward later. This single mental skill might be the most accurate predictor of financial success. I want to leave you with this thought. Financial freedom isn't just about money. It's about living life on your terms. It's about having the time and resources to pursue what matters to you, whether that's family, creativity, service to others, or whatever gives your life meaning. The greatest wealth is time. Once you understand that, everything changes. If this information has been valuable to you, please remember to subscribe to the Evolution Code. In part 2 of this series, I'll show you specific strategies to accelerate your path to financial freedom, including how to find your first real investments and how to think like a business owner, even if you are currently an employee. Thank you for watching, and remember, your financial future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. Take one small step toward building assets, and you've already begun changing your financial destiny.